Hello, welcome back. This is the socialization channel. Today's topic is loving yourself will not fulfill you. Loving yourself. There's something you hear almost every day on TV, social media, word of mouth, etc. It sounds good and it's not a bad thing, but the way it's being um, um, presented to people is um, not in a good way. It's nowadays loving yourself. It can be used to pacify somebody instead of giving them companionship um, or friendship or whatever. Instead of pointing in that direction, they just say, "Love yourself." It's enough. Love yourself. And then the other person will usually respond on social media, "Oh, thank you for telling me that. I really needed to hear that. Thank you, and that's all I needed. I feel better now." Now, some of the people who do say that, they mean it genuinely because maybe they are fulfilled and they just needed a small little nudge, and they're surrounded by loved ones and friends and family. But some people are, you know, totally alone, or um, they have a void, you know, a family void, a love void, um, friendship void, and then they'll go looking for answers on YouTube or somewhere in public or on TV, social media, and then there's all these motivational videos that say, "Just love yourself, love yourself." Love yourself can mean many things. What if someone is a narcissist? You know, you could just love yourself even more. Like, who cares about everybody else? And then just do whatever you want and just love yourself because you're the best. For someone who doesn't have any voids, that advice is very appealing because they can just love themselves, put themselves first, other people come second. But that's not what life is about. Loving yourself is used way too much. It can be, again, told to someone to just kind of shut them up, and again, that person will be back needing another pat on the back or another boost. They keep needing these boosts. In the Bible, God says, love your neighbor like you love yourself. To me, that makes sense. Some people are like, well, why should I love people I don't know? Or it could be scary. I don't know who they are. What if they're dangerous or whatever, or weird, or you just don't click or whatever. But the older I get, the more I realize that it makes sense that you're supposed to love your neighbor as you love yourself. It doesn't mean, when I say love yourself advice is overused. It doesn't mean like don't love yourself, don't care about yourself. That's not what I mean. You should do those things, but you should love others like you love yourself, as it says in the Bible. Because if everyone just went around only loving themselves, if every single person in the world went around only loving themselves, then, they're going to put you second. Or a lot of the advice nowadays is they make love feel like it's a reciprocal thing. Everything has to be reciprocated. You do something for me, I do something for you. I do something for you, but you have to do something for me. And same with love. I love you, and you have to love me back. Or, but it doesn't work that way because love is sacrificing yourself for the good of somebody else. So that means you would do something for somebody and not expect anything back. Like a mother or father or some example would do something for their child, they would do something for their child without expecting anything back from the child, usually. And that's love. Now, if the kid wants to do something later for them, again, they do it back with their own free will. And that's love, and that's better than just like loving yourself. So I really not hate, but dislike how, people are cold to each other. They can be, they don't socialize with strangers and all this kind of stuff. Well, love your neighbor like you love yourself. It covers all that stuff. So like, you would help others out. You would, you know, socialize, and all that with others. And you would treat them well and do things and not expect anything back. Because nobody likes it when someone comes up to them and asks them for something. Excuse me, making a sale, hard sale. Just be very careful out there. There's so many advice videos on YouTube and searching online. There's so many advice videos on loving yourself, and you can binge all those kind of memes and posts and all that kind of stuff. You can binge it. It's not going to fill you up. And I rarely see any information contradicting that love yourself mentality kind of thinking videos. Like when you love your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, husband, wife, when you love each other, that is completely better than loving yourself, right? It's when someone loves you. But sometimes you have to stick that hand out first and love them first. And then they may love you back. Sometimes they don't, and it hurts. But when you meet the right person, which you have to make a conscious effort, unless you're, a woman, then some guys may come to you, which is a waiting game. But you have to make the effort to attempt to love someone else as you get to know them, and then they love you back, and it's mutual. And you just want good for each other. That's loving each other. That's the way it's supposed to be. And that feels way better than loving yourself. To me, that's like I'm filling my own cup. Like, if you're a cup of water and you're supposed to love yourself, how do you take the water out of your own cup and fill your own cup up? Or if you're a plant, like you're watering yourself, that's like not even possible. Or if you want to have a family or something like that, loving yourself is not like alone, that advice alone. That's only one piece, that's like half of the advice. But they tell it to you like it's the full 100% complete advice that you need. Why? It's very appealing to people because it requires no effort, it requires no interaction with other people, it requires no work. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit there and just love yourself. So it's very appealing because you don't have to do anything. But you know you're not fulfilled. Unless you have all these people surrounding you already, then that's fine. But yeah, you can love yourself all you want. That's not going to make a family. If you're looking to have a family, you can love yourself all you want and be alone. If you're an introvert, you're not going to find anybody and you're not going to make a family alone, loving yourself with just you and your cats. I love cats, by the way. Nothing against cats. I have cats. But you have to love each other. That's what one of the things we're put on this earth to do is to love each other, right? It's one of the highest forms of thinking, highest forms of emotion you can have as a human being is to love. But if you just love yourself, that's like I don't know. It's like a circle jerk or something. It's just weird. But but you should like yourself and like care about yourself and all that. Like love yourself to where you wouldn't get walked over and that you have confidence and all that kind of stuff. That those kind of principles, that's totally okay. That's not what I mean. You can stand up on your own 2 feet. You are self-sufficient and you are motivated. You have a drive and you want to do things and you know that's all. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I'm not bashing on any of that. But if you've ever felt lonely and you try to fill yourself up with that love yourself advice, again, like for my other video, the solution is don't be alone. It's like you're hungry, right? Sometimes people watch those love yourself memes and videos, that means you're hungry, you have a void that you want to fill, an emotional, social void, you know? If you're hungry, you eat. Don't let someone tell you don't eat. A lot of times those people telling you that, they're eating, and they're telling you not to eat, as an analogy. That's why they're so nonchalant whenever you're feeling extra lonely. And then they're like, you know, it doesn't mean they're a bad person, but they don't understand because they're not in the same situation. They may have a better family than you do. They may have better people surrounding them. They have more friends or whatever. And so automatically, they don't always automatically understand your situation. So they'll tell you to love yourself. They'll tell you that, but then you try to do it and you're still empty. But they can do it, but they're already fulfilled because they're surrounded by their people already, or they have someone that loves them already, like spouse or whoever, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever. They already have that. So, you know, when you're missing that, and then they're not in the same shoes, so they they don't understand. They don't always understand, and be aware of that, when they tell you to just love yourself. Because sometimes you try to meet people and it doesn't work. And you may be lonely for like years. You could be lonely for like 6 months, 8 months, a year. and you're trying to socialize or whatever, you know. And again, if you're a half decent person, it's not your fault. And then your friends will try to tell you just love yourself and all that stuff because, they can't help you. They can't, like, quote unquote, hook you up with, someone that you like or whatever because of what? Because of your environment or because of your social circles. There's nobody like that around for them to hook you up with, right? Because don't people like to meet, you know, people they love through friends and all that kind of stuff? That's the natural way, right? Even though, or become friends first or whatever, even though is, that's a whole nother topic where people, there's a stigma of your friends first, your friends owned. But then if you ask women, a lot of times they like friends first because you get to know each other first. But then when you watch advice videos, they tell you, oh, your friend zoned already. And then later you tell them you like them, and then they're like, sorry, I'm not interested, or, I'm already seeing someone unavailable. So then when those things happen, the friend that's helping you will tell you, love yourself. But that's okay if you're just waiting 3 months, whatever. But if you're waiting a long time, like 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, year and a half, 2 years, God forbid 3 years or more, you're gonna lose it. You can lose yourself and lose your self confidence and self worth if you're not having success meeting someone and then they like you back. When I was in high school, a while back, it wasn't that hard. If you tell someone in your friend groups that you like them, you have 50% chance they'll like you back. You didn't have to be 6 feet tall with a six pack and all this crap. You could just do it. You could just be like a normal dude, and you would have 50% chance that they'll like you back. Really good. Now, in bad places, it's almost impossible. Unless you find an exception. There are exceptions, but it's not as easy as you think. And even just finding people you like that are available. If you see rings on all the fingers, yeah, some of them wear it to like ward off people, but it's not that much. That percentage is low. It's probably 10% or less of the women that wear rings to ward off guys. But the other 90% or higher, usually when they're wearing a ring, it's because they're taken already. So you can see that. So that adds to that void, And then again, you need to change up your environment. And again, when you fail and fail over again, and you go to your friends, they're just going to tell you to love yourself. Or, they may try to give you some advices, but you have to get some traction, you have to get some success. And it's not supposed to be that hard for someone to like you back. It's not. Be aware of the culture that you're operating in. Be aware of the environment that you're operating in. It could be working against you. And we as people are limited. You cannot, it's hard to overcome that on a macro level. If it's not working out your way. It's hard. You'd have to do a lot of filtering, to find the right one. And a lot of times in today's society's values clash because of all the worldviews or diverse worldviews. Yeah, diversity can be good because it can make you stronger, but diversity means different, right? So if everybody values A, B, C, A through Z, when before people used to value A, B, C, but now they value A through Z, it's a crapshoot, that you meet someone that has like values with you, because if you don't have like values, how are you all gonna click together, you know? Those are the symptoms that lead to the false solution of, or those are the symptoms and problems that lead to the false solution of loving yourself. Only loving yourself. Loving yourself is good, but don't only love yourself. Love your neighbors too. Um, love your friends. Love your family. Love God. Love your neighbors. And I used to think, oh, that means next door neighbor only, but no, it means everybody that's around you in this world. Because neighbor just means somebody that's around you. So if you're walking in a busy city, they're your neighbor too. I used to take that literally. I'm thinking, okay, so I only have to love my next door neighbor and then the other next door neighbor. And then everybody else I don't have to. Completely got that one wrong. But yeah, once people love their neighbors, love other people in this world, and love themselves, the walls come down. The walls come down. And yes, there is a lot of crime, so the walls go up. But as people love each other more and love themselves, the walls come down, you know, and life gets better and the world gets better, and this loneliness epidemic will decline, hopefully go away forever. Which it won't 100%, but go away by a lot. And then we won't need anybody asking for advices and then getting that advice to love yourself. Like actually, when I was in high school way back, I never even heard anybody tell you to love yourself. If you're having trouble meeting someone, for example, I'm just using that one, but obviously if you're just lonely and you want a friend, and you're having trouble, or right, that's the whole point, right? Loving yourself is the proposed solution to being lonely. The problem is being lonely, whether you want to make friends or, find someone to love and loves you back. It's the loneliness from that, the yearning, the void, and then the proposed solution is to love yourself. So just remember, most of the advices on YouTube and online, they're half truths. Half truths. That's half of the truth. The Bible tells you the other 50%. Love your neighbor and love yourself. Like you love yourself. It's not only loving yourself. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. Because we're put on this earth to care about each other. Like caring about yourself only, that obviously that's selfish, but and you could benefit from that if you're some kind of super selfish, like type A or whatever, but you can become I don't know, moving up the ladder and stuff at work or whatever, but we're not only, that's not all we are. We're put on here to love each other. You can't take anything you make here, you're not going to take it with you when you die. People won't remember you for what you have. They'll just remember you for how you loved others. They won't care that you loved yourself. They just remember, did you love others? Did you care about others? That's how important it is. Really important. So I hope this video helps everybody with the loneliness problem and the hearing the advice, loving yourself. Loving yourself only will not fulfill you. It is half of the solution, but not the whole 100% of the solution. So when you meet people, people can sense you. And if you're just meeting people and you're thinking about yourself first, they can see that. Most people can see that you only love yourself, and they're going to sense that vibe. And we're not saying love others only for the vanity of it. It's not for vanity. It's actually to care about other people because, it's the right thing to do. So when you care about others and don't expect anything back, and you are sincere when you interact with people and all that kind of stuff, it's going to show. It's going to show. And people can read your face. People can read you more than you. Like if you're like me, I was really kind of dumb with body language. But then I didn't realize that people were reading my face. Because I just wasn't brought up with like good social skills or, you know. So as you really care about people and, don't expect anything back, sure, put your will out there, if you like somebody or you want to make friends with somebody, let it be known. Um, don't bottle up your feelings. Do not do that. But when you communicate that you like someone or want to be friends with someone, genuinely care for them, God said the greatest thing a person can do is lay their life down for someone else, for a friend. Self-sacrifice. So if you love yourself first, you would never do that. But if you love your neighbor like you love yourself, and you love yourself, because we're supposed to be one body, right? Then when you really care about other people, people can notice that right away. And you're not doing it to look good, you're doing it because you actually care. And whether you get something back or not, you're not keeping score, right? You're not keeping score, you're not holding anything against them if you don't get anything back. Not at all. No ill will. But the beauty of it will be it. But the beauty of it is, there's going to be some who want to be your friend back. There's going to be some who will like you back. And that's a win, right? You don't have to get 100% of everybody, and it's their right. Not everybody, it's their right not to like you back, or, if they don't want to be friends, whether it's totally up to them, and it's their right to anyways, so, but once you kind of like let go, if they, what does it say, if you let it go, if they come back, they're yours or whatever, it has some weight to it, but definitely you're gonna see that you're just putting it out there, caring for everybody, loving your neighbor, loving other people. And then there's gonna be a lot of people who you didn't think so at first, okay? You may think they were like, they have a wall up, or they don't like you, or they were a jerk or something like that. But when they see what you stand for, and they see that you're caring later on, um, they may come back to you and want to be friends or like you or something. And then you're gonna be like, whoa, wow, amazing. And not only by you making, you know, by you loving others and caring about others and putting yourself out there, sticking your hand out there first, not only um, it mutually benefits everybody, because it benefits the other person too, and it benefits yourself. That's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to uplift each other, and yeah, I think that's what we should be focusing on. And you will find someone who wants to be friends and cares, likes you back, and all that kind of stuff. That's just going to be a byproduct of it, of living like a selfless life where you care about others and all that stuff. I think that's what really makes life rich. One of the things. So I don't want to make this video too long, but that was my talk about um, the loving yourself advice, and how loving yourself only will not fulfill you. Thanks for listening.